You should have the Google slide on Verb Moods Part 2 open. Listen to this audio as you follow along with the Google slide for Verb Moods Part 2. The standards for this lesson are English Language Arts, Course of Study, 8, Language Literacy, 20, Produce writing that shows a command of standard English grammar usage and mechanics. B, compose writing using verbs in active and passive voice to establish mood. E, form and use verbs in context in the indicative, imperative, interrogative, conditional, and subjunctive moods. Verbs come in 5 moods: indicative, imperative, interrogative, subjunctive, conditional. Let's review. Indicative mood is used to express facts, opinions. For example, I want to see a movie this weekend. Imperative mood is used to make requests or give commands. For example, do not talk during the movie. Remember, they can end with a period or an exclamation point. Interrogative mood is used to ask questions. Do you know when the movie starts? It will end with a question mark. Subjunctive mood. The subjunctive mood is usually found in complex sentences. You will have a main clause and at least one subordinate clause. The subjunctive mood is used to express unreal, imaginary, hypothetical conditions, importance, urgency, wishes, or desire. Subjunctive rule number 1. The subjunctive is generally used with if to express a wish, a want, or desire. Here are 2 examples. Oh, if that were only true. Another one is, if only I had $1 million. Notice, this is just a wish. It is not showing cause and effect. Subjunctive rule number 2. The subjunctive is usually used with that when expressing importance, wishes, or urgency. Here are 4 examples. Number 1. It is urgent that you take cover during a tornado. Number 2. I wish that I were in Paris. Number 3. I suggest that you stop talking. Number 4. It is important that you study. Subjunctive rule number 3. Remember that the word that can be implied or invisible. Our teacher insists we do our homework. The sentence is really the same as our teacher insists that we do our homework. Here are 2 examples. It is urgent we evacuate during a fire. That means the same thing as it is urgent that we evacuate during the fire. Number 2, I suggest you study for the test. That is the same sentence as I suggest that you study for the test. Conditional mood. Conditional mood is a form of subjunctive. Conditional expresses under which conditions something will happen. It usually uses if with cause and effect. For example, number 1, if you were generous, you would donate money to charity. Number 2, if Georgia were tropical, we could grow pineapples in our yards. Both sentences are if this, then that type of situations. Remember, subjunctive can use if to express wishes, wants, desires. Think, what if? Conditional uses if for cause and effect. Think, if this, then that. Subjunctive, if only it were summertime. Conditional, if it were summertime, we could go swimming. Here are some examples, subjunctive or conditional. Number 1, if I were rich, I would have a lake house. Number 2, I wish that you would stop talking. Number 3, if only I could remember my notebook. Number 4, it is important that you cover your mouth when you sneeze. Number 5, I am going to be unhappy if I do not get to go to the movies this weekend. Number 1 says, if I were rich, I would have a lake house. That sentence is conditional. If this, then that. Number 2, I wish that you would stop talking. That is subjunctive. It is only a wish. Number 3, if only I could remember my notebook. That is subjunctive. That is a hypothetical situation. Number 4, it is important that you cover your mouth when you sneeze. That is subjunctive. That sentence shows importance. Number 5, I'm going to be unhappy if I do not get to go to the movies this weekend. That sentence is conditional. Number 5 is conditional because it is a sentence that expresses if this, then that. It shows cause and effect. Subjunctive, conditional, indicative, imperative, and interrogative. Number 1, it is important that puppies get enough exercise. That sentence would be subjunctive because it shows importance. Number 2, do you walk your puppy enough? That sentence is interrogative. It asks a question. Number 3, a puppy needs at least 30 minutes of daily exercise. Number 3 is indicative mood because that sentence is sharing information. It indicates something. Number 4, if a puppy were not exercised properly, it would likely chew up its owner's possessions. Number 4 is written in the conditional mood. It expresses cause and effect. If this, then that. Number 5, remember to walk your puppy each day. Number 5 is written in the imperative mood. It gives a command. Remember that imperative sentences usually have the subject be understood you. So we're really saying you remember to walk your puppy each day. Special rule. Don't mix indicative and conditional. If does not go with was. If goes with were. Yes, if I were a butterfly, I would fly. No, if I was a butterfly, I would fly. Be sure to use the correct form of be. Was is only for past tense. You may say, when I was a butterfly, I flew. We will discuss inappropriate shifts in mood at a later date.